I hope you guys are doing well. This is Luxeley, playing as Revenant, and I am digging my Revenant more and more and more. And every time I think of Revenant, I think of Leonardo DiCaprio from the movie, because I don't know why. It's just stuck in my head. Revenant, Leonardo DiCaprio, for some reason. But one thing I love about this fort is that it looks like something out of Game of Thrones, doesn't it? Actually, some of these places in the human areas do look like something out of Game of Thrones. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Especially let me know if you're a Game of Thrones fan. I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. We all need to unite, so I'd like to know who you guys are. But right now they're making me do some house cleaning, which as a chick I'm not too happy with. But hey, alright, whatever. I'll play the role and then go off and kill something, because that's what we do. But I am digging my Revenant more and more, and I'm really trying to expedite this Let's Play series and get myself to the top, to max level, so I could PvP. Not that I can't PvP as a level 25, which is what I am right now, because as you can see in this video, I think I'm around level 5 or 6, but the point is, I got a lot of this stuff already pre-made, so I just got to get my act together and get them out there for you guys. But I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know what your favorite profession is in Guild Wars 2. Let me know if you're the kind of guy that plays the game, focuses on one profession, and likes to be a master of it, or are you someone who likes to play different things and switch it up? I've noticed when I played WoW, and even when I play Guild Wars 2, that by playing different professions or different classes in World of Warcraft, the game really doesn't ever get old. I mean, I've been playing WoW for a very, very long time, and the game hasn't gotten old. And I could say the same thing about Guild Wars 2. But I've been playing Guild Wars 2 since launch. And if you guys don't know, I said this in other videos, I'll say it again. I bought the game about a month into the launch, and it took me till my third try to actually get into the game. I revisited it two other times, and it finally started to sink in, and I started to like it. And the big problem that I had, and I mentioned this in other videos as well, yippee for me, yes, I'm level 7. So now I know I was level 6 previously, not level 5. But one of the bigger issues that I had with the game is you're in a new starting zone, and you get to level 5, maybe level 6, and what happens? All of a sudden, you're fighting mobs that are level 7, level 8. They just didn't give you enough hardline quest for you to progress through the zone. Yes, people will say, well, you have to do the events. Well, sometimes there's not enough people to do the events on your server at a given time. Or they'll say, well, you have to find all the waypoints, and you have to find all the points of interest and all the beautiful vistas, which I do. And there's still, I do the events, I do the vistas, the waypoint, all that, discover that nothing, still stuck fighting mobs that are 2, 3 levels higher than me, 4 levels, 5 levels higher than me. And you could handle one of them, maybe 2, but when it starts becoming 3, you're dead. And it gets very frustrating. And that's the main reason I left the game. And I have to believe other people have experienced the same thing. And leave it in the comments if that has been your experience. That doesn't necessarily mean everybody experienced it. Maybe they had the benefit of someone else's experience. And yes, experience can be redundant, but that's what happens. You get, other players might give you some enlightenment, or maybe they're questing with you, and, so you're questing with somebody, and it's 2 people against those mobs, and you just breeze right through them, or 3 people. That happens too. But what I did to rectify it finally was, after I got to, level 5, I would go to the starting zone of another race in the game, and this would downsize me to level 1, and then I'm ahead of the curve, and it worked. But I have to believe that a lot of other people experience the same thing, and it's a huge turnoff in the game. Now, I mean, this might seem redundant if this isn't the first video you're watching of this Let's Play series, because I've said this before, but I really can't say it enough. This is something that really should be fixed. I mean, this is a problem that World of Warcraft had when they first came out, and by their first expansion they had rectified that problem and they had fixed that problem. And now we're in the first expansion of Guild Wars 2, and that issue still exists. So leave it in the comments if that has been your experience. Hopefully it hasn't, but if it's something, if you're new to the game and this is something that you're finding yourself immersed into, which is very, very easy to do. It's a beautiful world. I think the whole structure of everything is great. I'm not arguing with the leveling experience in any way. I'm just saying they probably should have added 3, 4, 5 more quests in each zone. But now I'm just running through the world. I'm like Forrest Gump. I'm like, everywhere I go, I was running. I love my Jenny. Gonna jump onto the straw house now. Gonna go everywhere I go. I was jumping. But yeah, these vistas are just beautiful. I mean, this is almost like saying, hey guys, take a snapshot, put it on a refrigerator. And it's not a bad idea because this is painted elegance. I can't say it enough. I keep saying it, and that's a good thing when I'm repeating myself about, look at that beautiful windmill. Don Quixote would be proud of that windmill. Leave it in the comments if you know who Don Quixote is. If you don't know who he is, well, then just ask me and I'll tell you. That's an evil laugh from an evil kid who's not getting any Christmas presents. As far as I'm concerned, I'm telling Santa Claus. These kids are evil. They're laughing. I kind of like the quest. Like, this is one of those situations here. This particular town. It's a beautiful town, but it could get a little bit more action. Could have a little bit more things going. I think they could have made better use of this little town. I'm going to discover the waypoint. And I always pick the spot. Every time I come into this town, I get in there. I know, I'm in here. Boom, thank you. Did I say I was ready? No, you just hit me when I'm not ready. Now, I probably had to have done this little shield exercise. This is probably my 11th or 12th time doing it, and I still suck at it. I'm just not good at melee classes for some reason. But a Revenant is different. Revenant is kind of like a ranged melee class, and you'll see that as I progress in this Let's Play video. Because as I said, I am currently at level 25 on my Revenant, and as you can see, this says level 7, so I've played a lot, recorded a lot, edited a lot. There's a lot of episodes coming, so be sure to be subscribed. And say hello.
That's how you block an attack. Again.
Thank you. Yep, that was quick. Moving on. And every time I come here, this is the same guy doing the same thing. That's all he does. He just beats the shit out of noobs. And let's see what you got. No, you don't have anything. Okay. Thank you. Why, man?
The Elven Monastery supplies the best beer in all of Kryta.
Which is important.
The times have been hard for them of late. Between bandits, the recent centaur attacks, and what may be a poor harvest. I wonder if there'll even be any brew this season.
Boo-hoo for no brew. Thanks for the tour. I appreciate it. I honestly, blah, 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 blah. You're great. Thank you. Move on. That's all it really says. Oh, Harpies. How are we gonna... You know, I'm starting to wonder why the Harpy has a shield. Because all the Harpy has to do when they're fighting someone is fly up, right? They're fighting someone. They don't need the shield to block the attack. They can just fly up. Just a thought.
Time to do some real damage.
Time to do some real damage. You got it. That sounds like me when I PvP. Actually, I'm getting much, much better. What is with this Lissa confound me stuff? You know, I just thought of something. They stopped telling me that. I used to hear that a lot at lower levels, and then all of a sudden now I don't hear the Lissa confound you. I used to hear that all the time, and I don't hear that anymore. I kind of miss it. I thought it was a Revenant thing. It probably is a Revenant thing, but I don't know why I don't hear it anymore. Maybe it was a Heart of Thorns thing, and I leveled up again. I'm level 8. Grats to me.
Battle awaits.
You know what these Harpies remind me of? And now I'm dating myself a little bit, but this is a movie you guys should definitely check out if you're in one of those goofy moods to watch a movie that is so bad it's actually good. You ever run into any of those movies where they're just like kind of a cult favorite and they're just so bad, whether it's the special effects or the dialogue or the acting, but there's something very charming about it? And that's the movie I'm talking about, and that's what those Harpies remind me of. Flash Gordon from 1980. You have to check out that movie if you get the opportunity. It's absolutely hysterical. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson because I'm a geek that way. George Lucas. We all know who George Lucas is, I'm sure. You may not know who Flash Gordon is, but you know who George Lucas is. George Lucas, who I believe is in his 70s now, grew up as a kid being a huge Flash Gordon fan. Now, Flash Gordon was a serialized movie that was kind of put together in half-hour, one-hour segments, like a series in the movie theaters back in the 1930s. It was also a comic strip back in the 1930s. Right, Mr. Ogre? Is he an ogre? I forgot what he is. I eat your family. Oh, please. So, no, he's not. He looks like an ogre, but he's not an ogre. But back in the 30s, it was a comic strip. It was kind of like a serialized movie in the theaters. And kids would go to the movie theaters. No, I wasn't a kid back then. But they would go to the movie theaters and they would watch, like, Flash Gordon. Like, much in the same way you might watch a show on cable or network TV. In a weekly thing. Said you go to the movies and you saw Flash Gordon. So Lucas grew up as a huge Flash Gordon fan. And when he wanted to do Star Wars, because he wanted a showcase for his industrial light and magic special effects, and Star Wars was his outlet. But his first choice was to do Flash Gordon, which is very, very interesting because he couldn't acquire the rights to do a movie for Flash Gordon. And I'm leveled up again. Wow, this is a lot of fun. Oh, no, I'm not. Just kidding. So, he couldn't acquire the rights to Flash Gordon. So, instead, he did Star Wars. Now, what's really very, very interesting is if you listen to the opening credits of any Flash Gordon serialized show from the 30s, and you look at the opening credits and you listen to the music is exactly the same as the Star Wars music. It is a copyright infringement like you would not believe or couldn't imagine. The only difference is different instruments, different tempo, but it's the same exact music. Not only that, but Flash Gordon used to have the scrolling text much in the same way Star Wars does. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Same thing. Same exact thing. The princess's name in Flash Gordon was Priya. The princess's name in Star Wars is Leia. There's an old guy who's kind of mystical and a scientist in Flash Gordon, and there's an old guy in Star Wars, at least the original series there was, Alec Guinness playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. You see the parallels? It's amazing. Ming the Merciless was actually the foundation for Darth Vader. Ming the Merciless being the main villain of Flash Gordon. It's interesting. I'm telling you guys. If I can find that story that I saw and that video comparing and contrasting the two, I'll link it in the comments. If anybody's interested, let me know. I'll try to find it and put it in there if someone asks for it. Just amazing, though. It's amazing. When you think something might be original, the reality is it's somebody's inspiration from some other piece of work. Much like George Lucas in Star Wars being inspired by, of all things. And if you ever saw any of these old Flash Gordon episodes, it's kind of crazy. But just check out the movie from 1980 because it's hysterical. And you'll thank me for it. If you're a sci-fi fantasy fan, which most people who play Guild Wars 2 are, or even play World of Warcraft are, you're going to really, really appreciate Flash Gordon the movie. And that's what those Harpies remind me of. They remind me of the Hawkmen from Flash Gordon. So, yeah. Luxley goes off on tangents. Certainly does. And killing more centaurs. I wish I could, like, get a running count of how many centaurs I've actually faced and killed. And how many times they killed me in-game. I wish there must be some way you could tally that. One thing I would love to see in this game is having a number of, like, kills you get in PvP. I wish that there was some sort of running, like, what do they call it? Like in Vietnam, when you had a confirmed kill, or you're a sniper in Afghanistan or Iraq, and you have a confirmed kill. I wish they would have a stat like that. I know it's not an indication of skill, but what it is an indication of commitment to the game and experience. And if you assume someone has intelligence with experience and they can learn from their mistakes, in a way, you kind of know if someone's got a lot of confirmed kills or has a lot of experience in the game, that they probably learn from mistakes. Although some people don't. I do, but some people just keep doing it. They're like a bird in a window. Boom, boom. And it takes them about 3 years to realize that might be a window. So I'm about to round this up and finish off another episode of Let's Play featuring Sindoran Payne, the Revenant, who is on our way to level 80. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Luxley saying, whatever it is by you, morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic.